presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Philly Sports Guy show. Today is Wednesday, September 21st, and we're going to get right to it, starting with the Phillies. Losers of four straight, they go in and come back home to play against Toronto, and they don't do very well. They don't do very well at all. In fact, there was only one inning that they did not let up a run. Let's see. Start off, give up 3 runs in the first, 2 runs in the second, 1 run in the sixth. Kyle Gibson was, pitching pretty well up until this game, and he just really fell apart. Like I said, fourth inning doesn't let up a run. The fifth inning lets up 1 run, so it's 7-1 by the fifth inning. Phillies try to come back. They get 4 runs in that fifth and get some momentum going in the right direction. And the pitching lets up another run, then another 2 runs, then another 4 runs. Then the Phillies come back again, get another 5 runs. So they tried to stay in this game. I mean, it was 14-10 at one point, and then they just give up some more runs. It's just like, come on, guys, come on. I don't know exactly what was happening with the defense or the pitching yesterday. I don't know if Toronto is in that much better shape, but for some reason they can't seem to beat the AL teams this year. I mean, obviously they had a win against the Angels, but everybody else in the AL has been just handing us our hats, and it was no different yesterday. So. Couple of highlight notes. Schwarber gets his 40th home run. It's the first time that anybody's hit 40 home runs in a Phillies uniform since Ryan Howard. And not to be outdone, obviously, there's a guy up in New York who just hit his 60th home run, which is good for him. Aaron Judge is actually having a great season, but I wanted to mention that because obviously he's going after the record in AL. And the NL record is 73 by Barry Bonds, as we all know. So Schwarber is not going to hit 73 home runs this year. But the AL record could get broken this year by Aaron Judge. And I would say congratulations to him, but I'm not a Yankees fan, so I could care less. A lot of home runs last night. JT Realmuto, he wound up going 5 for 5. He was the one guy who actually had brought his bat pretty strongly. He went 5 for 5. He got 33% of the 15 hits the Phillies got. And like I said, Schwarber went 2 for 5. Everybody else went 2 or 1 for 5. Everybody got a hit except Brad Marsh, who really only had 1 at bat. But everybody else was able to get a hit, included this guy, Guthrie. Winds up hitting a home run too. So there was a couple of home runs out there. Hoskins with a double, Real Muto with a double. So Real Muto's got his bat going, but at least Philly's got to turn it around. I mean, it's okay. I mean, because right now the Brewers happen to be playing the Mets, and we get lucky in that regard because the Mets are taking care of business against the Brewers. The Brewers have been worse than the Phillies down the stretch, so we have a 2.5 game lead, along with the fact that we have the tiebreaker against the Brewers in general. So, I mean, it looks like we're going to make the playoffs, but we need to turn this around pretty quickly. Losing 5 games in a row is not very good to go into the playoffs. I mean, there's only 15 games remaining. We have to get things happening here and get everything in place. Now, Wheeler's starting to rehab. I hear Castellanos is starting to rehab. So hopefully these guys can come back and give a little bit of fire back to this team, but this team is lacking a little bit of that. Now they did bring, like I said, they did get 15 hits yesterday. They did do their best to try to make things happen, get back in this game. But all in all, it was just it's been horrendous. It has been horrendous, and they need to be able to make this change and get things back right before we get into the playoffs. And it's not going to be very simple because obviously after Toronto, we have a 4 game series with Atlanta. And coming out of Atlanta where they swept us, I'd like to see us take 3 of 4. I was hoping to take 4 of 6 this week. We're already up against it now. So tonight, we'll see what happens tonight. But I mean, right now, we have Zach Wheeler coming off and against Gosman. Gosman's 12-10 with a 3.45, and Zach Wheeler's 11-7 with a 3.07 ERA. Of course, he's been rested, so hopefully he's able to go pretty strong. But I heard that they were going to have him on a pitch count. So it's possible he may only go 4 or 5 innings, and Noah Syndergaard is going to come in and follow behind him. So we'll see if that's the case and how things go. But it's again, not much time left. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock in terms of the playoffs coming. And we have to make sure to have things happening to get things back right and right this ship. Like I said, this is not a very good time for us to start having issues. Our remaining schedule is as follows. We have 1 more with the Blue Jays, 4 with the Braves, 3 with the Cubs. And we remember the last time we saw the Cubs, it's at Chicago. When they were here, they swept us. Then we have 4 with the Nationals, who we've owned. And then the last 3 are against the Astros. So we've had a fairly easy second half of the season. But the last bit of this, the last 10 games, or let's see, it's 3, 4, and 3. So 10 games on the road, going to make things a little difficult. So 15 games remaining. We have to, turn this around, or else we're going to have a big issue. We're going to have a big issue. The Red October is coming. It is coming, and we don't want it to be a bloodbath once we're in there. We want to be able to at least hold our own. And I don't mind being the third wild card. The third wild card means that we would go up against St. Louis, and I think that we actually compete against St. Louis. Right now, St. Louis is having a little. Yeah, Mike, I'm going to be there too on Thursday. I'm going to be there and showing my support for this team. They are. I mean, they should be. They should be doing a lot better. They really should be. This is not the type of team. I know they have better bats. I know they have better pitching. It's a shame that it just does not seem to catch up to them when it's ready. So again, the number still goes down. It was 13. The magic number is 13. So we have to just win our games. Like I said, the Mets are taking care of the Brewers. They're doing theirs. The Braves right now are they can't lose either. They can't seem to lose. They've won 5 in a row. So good. The Mets and they're chasing the Mets. I want to see what the standings are right now, just so that I can give you a full update on how everybody is in the National League right now. It's still a 1 game, so they have been going win for win. The Mets are still 1 game up. The Braves have 2 games in hand on them. They have the same amount of losses. So, and then the Phillies right now are 13 and a half games out. And like I said, they're 2.5 games out of the wild card. The Padres have a game and a half on us for the second wild card spot. Like I said, the Cardinals have no chance of catching the Mets or the Braves. So, do I think your Padres could still make a run? Seeing that this is a Philadelphia show, I don't care about the Padres, but no, I don't think they can. I think that the Padres are going to lose to either the Mets or the Braves when they face them in the wild card. I'm hoping that the Phillies do not have the same issue because as of right now, let's see what the Cardinals. Cardinals are also getting beat by the Padres right now, so they lost 2 in a row. Was it 2 to the road to the Padres? I would assume so. Yep. It is 2 in a row against the Padres. So I don't know that they're going to be able to make a run. But the Phillies, I think the Phillies could actually go into St. Louis and win that series. And then that would put us up against LA. And I know LA's got over 100 wins, but for some reason or another, our Phillies love to bat in LA. So if all we got to do is get past the wild card, and I bet you we would actually have a fighter's chance, a puncher's chance against LA. And I don't care how many wins they have. Whether they're going to go out, probably have 110 wins by the end of this season, LA. You know what happened last year when the Giants had 107 wins? They got knocked out in the first round of the playoffs. So it is still possible for us to make that happen. And then, then we see what happens. I don't know that we would have any luck against the Braves or the Mets this year. And the Mets, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter all the injuries that have been going on with them and anything. They are still winning games. So they are still being able to make things happen. It's really hard to be able to say what's going to happen here. But the Phillies definitely have to start picking it up, and they can start by doing it tonight. They can actually, if they can get the win tonight, be the first win against Toronto in maybe a few years, I think, because they just can't seem to beat them. They just cannot seem to beat Toronto, and I don't know why. Toronto is not that great a team. So interesting enough, I am going to mention this. Darick Hall did winning those minor league awards. I just met Darick Hall's wife. She was at the charity event that I was at last Friday, the cooking charity event. A great lady, and I'm really excited for him. I can't wait for him to come back to put to come back in for the playoffs. I think he'd be a good bat on the bench to come up and pinch hit situations. I know that the pinch hitter is not something that happens very often anymore when you have the DH, but be nice to have Darick Hall in here and that extra bat. They could use the spark right now, and Darick Hall was filled in pretty great for when Bryce Harper was out. So I'm hoping that is the case. So, like I said, hopefully they're able to make these changes here, and we are able to get back on the right side of things. Let's take a quick commercial break, and once we return, we're going to talk about what's going on with the Flyers. I know that Sean Couturier situation. There's a lot of people heated about that. And then, of course, let's talk about the Birds. So right after these commercial messages, we'll be back and talk about all those other things. Stay tuned.
great day of music for an amazing cause. Saturday, September 24th, don't miss Yacht Stock River Jam. 24 bands on 2 stages, starring Sarah Spicer.
Love will hit you hard, like a fist through the wall, like a semi-automatic, it'll leave a scar. Love will hit you hard, like a hook to the right.
And Audra McLaughlin.
I don't want to feel the sun, I just want to feel the rain. Tread whiskey all night long. Drown
With special guest Vixen 77.
Some days I go, some days I won't.
Yacht Stock benefits Shriners Hospitals for Children, Philadelphia.
Some days I won't.
Get your tickets now at yachtstock.org.
Some days I won't.
Yacht Stock River Jam, September 24th at West End Boat Club, just off 95 in Essington.
Some days I
I mean, you can see right now, without LeBron, Lakers are struggling.
Let me tell you about a team I hate, all right? I know the Dallas Cowboy fan is here, so I had to make sure he knew how much I hate this team.
I'm ready.
I've often said that the people who run baseball, they try very hard to ruin it.
I'm from Brooklyn. I don't have a problem saying it to his face. Oh, I'm from Brooklyn. Hey, isn't he?
And we are back. And, you know, this Sunday coming up, me and 1,200 of my closest friends are going with Philly sports trips, and we're going to be heading out to Washington to watch the Eagles just destroy FedEx Field and the Washington Commanders in our first battle with the Commanders as such. You know, and welcoming back Carson Wentz to the NFC East. And I started to look at a couple of different things. You know, let's see how Carson Wentz is doing down there, and let's see how that's going on. Jalen Hurts right now is, you know, for between both games, 44 for 63 for 576 yards. He's thrown 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He's got a 97.1 passer rating. Interestingly enough, Carson Wentz got a better passer rating. He's going 57 for 87 with 650 yards, 7 touchdowns, 3 picks, and 100.3 passer rating. So I would say that they're very similar in what they're doing right now. Jalen Hurts obviously has a lot more rushing yards and a lot more rushing touchdowns, which is what is perfect. Appreciate that, Chris. Absolutely. They have the voting available. Go to NFL.com. Vote for me as Fan of the Year. You're more than welcome to do so. I appreciate all that stuff. I don't really push it too much like everybody else does. There's a lot of people that are pushing for it. You know, everybody knows what kind of fan I am. It's not like I don't need the accolades to say that I'm the best fan in the world, but if you guys vote for me, that would be awesome. Anyways, going back, Miles Sanders, he's got 30 carries for 176 yards, which isn't too bad. Obviously, you're trying to get somewhere around about 100 yards. He's been doing about 80, 85 yards a game, which is not bad. He's got 1 touchdown. Antonio Gibson, in retrospect, he's only got 30. He's got close to 30 carries, only 86 yards. So they have not had a rushing attack at all. A.J. Brown, 15 receptions from 21 targets. 224 yards. Now, their guy over there, I love their guy, Terry McLaurin. I think that he's a fantastic receiver over there, and I'm glad that he's got somebody who can actually throw him the ball some. But 12 targets, only 6 receptions, and 133 yards with a touchdown. I know that that is one of those situations where if you have him on your fantasy league, you are not real happy about that because, you know, I've had him on my team for a couple of years. I don't have him on my team this year. Somebody grabbed him before me because, you know, they see what's going on. But he has not been the best. I am surprised at the way this defense of the Commanders has just not been really on point. I mean, it's just been they've been getting a lot of yards, but they've been giving up. Here's the defensive stats. They give up about 422 yards a game on average. It's 27th in the league. They give about 250 yards. It's 20th in the league, 247 to be exact. And rushing yards, they are 28th at 157, which means that we are going to be able to run the ball all over the place. We're going to be able to run nonstop. They give up about 29 points a game, and their third down percentage, actually, they get off the field on third down and with the 28%. So we're going to be able to have to convert our third down conversions on Sunday to be able to stick with them because that's one of the things that they are good at doing. So in retrospect, their offense puts up 411 yards a game. They have about 300 yards passing. They're ranked second in passing, actually 306 yards, second in the league in passing. Their rushing yards is 86.5. That's not a real big deal. They're eighth in points with 27.5 points per game. And on third down, they convert third down conversions 56% of the time. That's third best in the league. So, obviously they are they're a team who's going to be a little bit formidable, but we know all about Carson Wentz. And I expect Slay to get a touchdown in this game. Somebody's going to get a pick six. It's happening. And we saw exactly what they could look like. They said, I'm talking about how Slay, before his last interception, Zach McPherson came out and tried to get out on the field for him. And he's like, get out of here. I got this. And then he picked it off again. So I think that this is going to be good. The spread on this game is, let me tell you, I want to say it is 6.5 with an over-under at 47. I'm telling you, take the Eagles and take the over. The Eagles are going to score 30-some points on this team. I think they're going to really just lay it on them. They're going to be hitting them hard and often. I wouldn't be surprised if we were to win the coin flip and take the ball first. I think the way that they move down the field has been pretty good on their scripted plays. They've been in the lead very early in games. They have not gone into a quarter. I think I saw this a little bit. Here we go. Chris, at the end of a quarter, they have not been trailing at all. There we go. They haven't trailed at all. They've had the lead in every game that they've had. So that's a good sign, and I think that should continue. We should be able to do that against against Washington without any issue or problem. I don't think the Washington defense is that good, even though they've been touted as such. I think that this is going to be a fairly simple win, and it's going to be a Philadelphia feel down there. That's going to be Philadelphia South down on 95 at FedEx Field, where we're going to probably have more than half of that stadium. Because, like I said, I know I'm going with 1,200 people. There's going to be a lot more going there as well. And, like I said, Hutchinson wound up with 3 sacks on Carson Wentz just in the first half alone. I think he was sacked 6 times in total last game. I can't wait. I'm thinking the defense is going to tee off Fletcher Cox and look to find Jordan Davis getting his first sack of the year in this game. That's going to happen. Anyways, let's go to the other team that I want to talk about. I haven't talked about any the Sixers, and the Sixers come. The only thing that we really could say about that was that we saw James Harden. James Harden is looked good at the Eagles game. Got himself a football. It's literally that whole moment in time. Are the Eagles propelling themselves to a championship? Could the winning that starts with the Eagles start to propel all the Philadelphia teams to start doing well? Well, I would say so, except for the Flyers. And there has been a lot of news. There has been a lot of news about Couturier and his back. It's going to be him not being there. People are already speculating. Okay, he was fine. He just said he was 100% healthy, and now he's got this back problem. And of course, you can't really tell what back problems. He was working out, and next thing you know, he's got herniated discs. Herniated discs, I know, take 3 to 4 months to fix. But I mean, is this going to be what it is this season? He didn't want to be the captain. He doesn't want to train with Tortorella. I mean, I have my reservations about Tortorella. This franchise has been a little bit of a challenging to watch in general. I find that when you are an entity and rather than an ownership group, that you tend to lose focus. You care more about the ticket sales than you do about the team. You start looking at fans, the numbers rather than actual people. And I feel that's what's happening here with Comcast. I am choosing my words very carefully here because obviously I love this team. I love the Flyers. I want the Flyers to do really well. I am beginning to feel that Comcast as an entity has no idea how to run a franchise in total. And it's going to show in the seats. I think that they're going to have a real big problem trying to find people to get into the stands, and it's going to be tough. Now they gave Sean Couturier that big contract. And it's like Ellis, same situation. Having two guys with all that money out there, it's going to be a problem. And I don't know what's going to come of this team. It's like everybody's saying, oh, well, they may be tanking for Bedard. You know what I mean? And I'll be honest, I don't want Bedard. I'd rather have McTavish. I think that's Craig McTavish's kid. And I think that he's a little bit better player. I think that he's been better coached throughout his lifetime because of his father, other than Bedard. So I would love to be able to say that we go after him. So I'm not sure that'll be the case. I'm really beginning frustrated. I'm not a fan of Fletcher. I think Fletcher was not a very good GM when it came to the Wild. The moment that they got rid of him there, the Wild have been able to compete. And since we've gotten Fletcher here, he's done nothing but, dismantle this team in a way that's just no good. The Johnny Gaudreau situation, I'm talking to people very close to him, saying that the contract that he signed for he wouldn't have even gone that high with the Flyers to come play here. He wanted to play here. He knew that if he came to Philadelphia, all of the different advertisements that he would have gotten would have subsidized any type of money that he was going to make on the ice. So he was okay going with a million or two less. Now, again, this is hearsay coming from friends of his, not necessarily something that I can say 100% because the money talks. You know what I mean? Obviously, the money talks. But he knows that he wanted to play here, and he was really ready to do everything that he needed to do. So, I'm hoping that the Flyers are able to make something of this season. I cannot stand having to watch them just lose every week. I don't want to see them down at the bottom of the NHL. The NHL is a much better product when the Flyers are doing well, and unfortunately, Comcast as an ownership group is just not doing the job. And there's going to be a lot of calls this year for them to sell the team if they put out the product that we think they're about to. Like I said, Fletcher said he was not in the Johnny Gaudreau race, and that's a shame because obviously that kid wanted to play here, and he would have probably been a good face of the franchise. Now we don't even know who our captain is going to be. I expect it to be Lawton. So our half hour is up that fast. So I would say thank you very much for coming in. Tomorrow, I will be part of the Mac and Jack show. So tune into the Mac and Jack show. It'll start at 8 o'clock in the morning, where I will have Jack. Or actually, Jack won't be on. I'll be talking with Mac and maybe some other people coming on. But again, thank you very much for tuning in for this half hour. And we will be back starting on Monday, where we'll be talking about, I'll have the hour-long show of what the Eagles look like and how we beat the Washington Commanders. So everybody have a great week. And as always, go Philly. Yeah.